All right, we're bringing you now some breaking news. It's coming in to us from Karnataka, one of the three states that's seen the most action in the last few hours from the National Investigative Agency in its largest ever raids against the PFI. We're learning that in Karnataka, it turns out that the calls for banning the PFI are growing. The Hindu Jana Jagriti Samiti members have met with the Karnataka Home Minister Araga Jnanendra. They're seeking a ban on the PFI. Let's go over to my colleague Harish right now for more details. Harish, our audiences will remember that just a few months ago, following the killing of a Bajrang Dal activist in Shivamoga, you already have been seeing a number of groups in Karnataka make this demand. Bring us more details.
Well, absolutely. Whether when we had Praveen Netta's murder happening in coastal Karnataka or the stabbing incident that we saw in Shivamoga, there has been a chorus growing for a ban on the Popular Front of India. And every time you had state government saying that it's a call that has to be taken by the union government and it has to be done in a manner that it stands legal scrutiny and also has to be dealt in a manner that the same members don't gather again under a different umbrella and once again start their activities. And now chorus is growing on seeking a ban on PFI. The Hindu Jana Jagriti Samiti meeting Home Minister Araga Jnanendra saying that the state government should once again urge and approach the union government to ban the Popular Front of India.
Okay. Harish, if I could just ask you to also give our audiences a little bit more context here on the PFI's activities in the state over the last few years. What does the last decade for the PFI in Karnataka look like?
Well, there have been multiple killings that have happened, especially in coastal Karnataka area, and several of those accused have had links to either the PFI or the SDPI, as recently as the murder of Praveen Netta as well. We've seen in that case too, SDPI and PFI offices being raided across coastal Karnataka. Some of their members are accused in that particular case. Even in the case of Prem Singh being stabbed in Shivamoga, we had seen raids on offices of these organizations and the houses of some of these leaders as well. And they've been under the scanner for a very long time. And even today, you see, even in this pan-India raid that's happening by the NIA, several locations in Mangaluru and Bengaluru too raided. It's one of the key states for the PFI. And investigating agency always tracking leaders from here because they've seen that a lot of propaganda that goes from the PFI handles are emerging from here. At the same time, some of the leaders from here also have been under the scanner for their activities as well. And leaders from PFI Karnataka seem to have close links to PFI leaders in Kerala. That's one of the strongholds of PFI. So their activities in Karnataka have been under the scanner for a very long time, especially over the last year or so when we've had multiple killings in coastal Karnataka and Malnad region.
Okay. Harish, thank you for these details. For our audiences, my colleague Arunima now covers the Home Ministry. She's been bringing us details of all the action we've seen since the morning. Let's go over to her right now to understand more. Arunima, the kind of planning and infrastructural thought that would have had to go behind such a wide set scale of action taking place in about, I think we're telling our audiences, 13 states right now. Could you shed a light on how much planning and preparation went into today's actions?
So the first meeting in this regard happened in the first week of September when Home Minister Amit Shah met all the agencies, the central agencies who were looking at Popular Front of India. So the Intelligence Bureau, the NIA, the Enforcement Directorate, they were all made part of that meeting. That's when this process began. And since then, all the anti-terror units of various state police were brought on board. There was massive coordination that was underway. Paramilitary forces were requisitioned because their protection was required. You are seeing the kind of protests that are happening in some of the states. So they were requisitioned as well. And then over the last, 1 week or so, some of the top leaders of the Popular Front of India were put under surveillance. There was some apprehension that there could be attempt to destroy evidence or even top functionaries could escape and therefore they were constantly watched. And after this full preparation, the midnight crackdown began. It was by the National Investigation Agency, the Enforcement Directorate and the local police. Total 106 people have already been arrested. More in detention, the numbers could grow. These are not just by one agency, these are by NIA, ED and the state police combined. Maharashtra ATS, for example, Maharashtra, from where 20 people have been arrested, has confirmed that it has registered a fresh case. Ultimately, all of those cases could be transferred to the National Investigation Agency. And I'm coming to you live from outside NIA, where they're all focusing on collection of evidence on 3 counts. PFI stands accused of terror financing, recruitment for terror and carrying out anti-India activities. So right now, searchers are to collect evidence on all these 3 counts.
Okay. Arunima, thank you for bringing us those details. If I could request you to actually stay with